Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the organization and the systems that I have put in place as a busy working mom of 3 little kids recently that have literally changed my entire life. So maybe that sounds extreme, but truly my life has been transformed over the last few months when it comes to being on top of things, trying to get it all done without being like a, just stressed out mom and crazy person. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Becca. I'm a mom of 3. I am a working mom. I work for myself, but I do financially provide for our family. So there is a lot of responsibility on my shoulders when it comes to my work and my career. I am a dietitian. I share tons of nutrition content here on my YouTube channel. I run a nutrition program and course, and there's just a lot that is on my plate on a daily basis. And I will tell you that once my son Bo, he is actually over 9 months now, which is so crazy to me. But when he was born, something about that 3rd kid, man, it was just different. Like, I feel like I could, with 2 kids, I have 2 girls and a boy, with my 2 girls, I feel like I could still kind of just fly by the seat of my pants and just kind of get by and get things done without needing a true intentional organizational system in place. And once Bo came along, I feel like I hear this a lot with moms that have 3 or more kids, that 3 was really challenging. And then I think that 3rd kid just makes them kind of up level how they approach mothering and household chores or work or whatever it is. I could be wrong, but that's just kind of what I get from what I just bits and pieces I hear from other moms in real life or on the internet. And that was totally the case for me. So after he was born, I was just kind of I have got to figure stuff out, because I was running around with a chicken with my head cut off, not efficient, wasting so much time, burning so much physical and mental energy, and just not really getting done or reaching the goals that I wanted to reach. So I just kind of took a whole look at my life. I read a few books, which I'm going to share with you guys, and I made a lot of changes for the better. And I'm going to share with you everything that I did in this video. But I just want to say that I feel like I am so blessed by my son Bo, because if it weren't for him, I would have never grown in this, or what is it, self-growth. I would have never grown and developed in this way and have made all of these changes that I feel like make me a better mom, make me a better business owner, just all the things. So I'm really excited to share this with you today, because this is something that's impacted me so much. And I know that so many of you watch this are also busy moms who probably could use some direction or encouragement in this area. So I'm going to share with you guys some specific things, specific books I read. I'm going to share with you the specific organization system I put in place. I'm going to literally show you the pages of what I made, so that I could become a more efficient, just person in general, and try and get it all done. But I want to give a couple disclaimers, okay? So if you're watching this and you see all these things that I do or try and accomplish on a regular basis, please know that I don't get it all done alone. My husband is home with us. He left his corporate job 4 years ago now, which is crazy. And he's with us full time. So he spends so much time with our kids, which is a huge blessing. So I am not in full mom mode and business mode all day. I typically take the mornings to work, mostly when my son he's down for his morning nap right now. This is when I crush it and get stuff done. And he usually takes the girls out to museums or parks. Right now they're at Costco, so that I can work. So he is a humongous help. So I'm not doing this all by myself. And then I also have assistants that help me with my businesses. I have an assistant that helps me with all of my YouTube back end stuff. Hey, Abby, I know you're watching this. You're editing it right now. So I have her that helps me with tons of back end social media, YouTube editing, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. I also have an assistant that helps me with my Young Living business because there is so much back end that goes into that. So I am not doing it all by myself. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there because I think it's really important, because a lot of times you see moms and you're just like, how are you doing all this? Like, and then you feel really bad about yourself. But I just wanted to like put that out there so that you know that it's not just a one-woman show around here. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a quick second to tell you about my nutrition and intuitive eating program, Mindful Eating Made Simple. This program is all of my knowledge, education, tips, expertise, experience, all in one place, where I teach you everything you need to know about not just nutrition, but also how to eat in a way that is healthy and balanced for the lifelong. I am a firm believer that you need to be equipped both with robust nutrition knowledge that makes sense, that can be applied to your daily life, but also understanding how to eat intuitively, because I believe that that is the only way to enjoy eating, but not go overboard and be able to maintain health and vitality through your lifetime. So if you are just done with being on a cycle of dieting and trying this diet and that diet and failing and trying again and all of that nonsense, or maybe you're just trying to eat healthy, but you find nutrition confusing or you find it stressful and you feel like you kind of end up turning it into a diet in itself and you just can't do it in a way that is relaxed and sustainable and balanced, then this program is for you. I will personally be here to hold your hand and walk you through as you build on this new knowledge and make these changes. My mission is to help women feel confident with healthy eating, but without the complex. And that is exactly what I do in this program. So I will leave a link down below if you are ready to join me inside the program. And maybe you're still on the fence. And if that's the case, I would highly recommend taking my free Mindful Eating Mindset Masterclass, where you are going to start to learn how to break down that diet mentality, how to eat healthy for the long term in a way that's balanced and sustainable, and also avoid some of the most common mistakes people make when it comes to healthy eating. If this sounds like something you are needing in your life, I so hope to see you inside the program. I want to help you make the changes that are actually going to give you your freedom back, give you your life back, and allow you to eat in a way that has both enjoyment but nourishment at the same time. I do have another disclaimer, but I'll get to that when we get to my binder. So I wanted to share a few books that I read this past fall that changed my life. So there's 3 that I'm going to share with you guys. The first one is The 4-Hour Work Week. The second one is Home Management, Plain and Simple. And the third one is called Habits. This is actually just a bunch of excerpts from Charlotte Mason's writings in many different publications. If you homeschool, you've definitely heard of Charlotte Mason. She's very popular in the homeschool world. I actually bought this book to help promote and train my kids to have better habits. But turns out it also was like schooling me, because I had a lot of habits that I needed to change. So in order to be a better, more efficient person. So I'm not going to give like book reviews because that's not what this video is about, but I just wanted to mention them. This has been life-changing for me on the work front. This has been life-changing for me on the home front. And they're both very, efficiency is a major theme in both of these books. And efficiency is something that I've always struggled with. So life-changing, like literally, I love these books so much. And then this one is just kind of like overall, how are you spending your time? What are you doing? The more you can get in the habit of doing the things that you want to do, the more efficient you become, the more second nature it becomes, the less mental energy it takes. And I had a huge aha moment when I read this book. I don't remember the exact quote. It's probably underlined in here somewhere. But for time's sake, I'm not going to find it. But basically she said, like, what tires out your brain more is not the things that you're actually doing, it's all the things that you're not doing. And that was like a light bulb moment for me, because I realized I am spending so much of my time and burning so much or using up so much of my mental space just trying to remember all the things that are required of me, that I'm responsible for. And then when I'm not doing all of those things, they're still taking up space in my brain, because I'm like, oh, didn't get to that. When am I going to do this? I need to figure out a time to do that. And it was just like, wow, my brain was crowded. So that was a humongous light bulb moment for me. So that leads me into the next actual tangible thing that I did to transform my life and get myself organized. And that is, I took a notebook and I wrote down, I did this for my businesses, and then I did it for like household, mom life, like all the things that I need to do as far as running my house. I wrote down everything that I was responsible for, like brain dumped, got a cup of coffee, kids are playing, doing something, they're with my husband, whatever, where I could focus. And I just sat there and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I just sat there until basically I thought of everything. And then if, the next couple days that went by, I would keep this notebook handy and I would jot some more stuff down. So I'm trying to find like the actual, because this notebook, also everybody, you need a notebook, okay? Like this is not organized, but it helps me get all of my thoughts out onto paper. And I hate using my phone for this, which we'll talk more about phones later. But so here is one that I just found. So this was literally when I went through for my businesses, and I just basically like brain dumped, word vomit, whatever you want to call it, everything that that I'm responsible for, all the things that I'm trying to get done on a daily basis. And when I did this exercise, I actually laughed out loud. Like there was a true LOL, because I was like, no wonder I feel like a crazy person, because I'm trying to do all of these things and I'm trying to execute it all from here. So every week I'm restarting like with, what am I going to do this week? What do I need to get done? Trying to keep up here all the things I'm responsible for. And it was just like, no wonder I'm not getting done what I want to get done. Just trying to remember all this stuff alone is like a full-time job. So that was like a little bit funny. But anyway, so then I did the same thing. First I did it for work, and then I was like, why am I not doing this for household stuff? Because I read this book too, and it's all about whipping your butt into shape when it comes to like managing your house. And if you're a mom, or even if you're not a mom, it doesn't matter if you have kids or not, you have like laundry and dishes, and there's cleaning, and there's, bills. Like there's just so much stuff that goes into managing just like the regular side of life, not even work. So I did the same thing. So I went through and I wrote down, there's like laundry, there's like food I want to like make or prep on a weekly basis, like yogurt and bone broth and bread and whatever. Then I have like just basically jotted all that stuff down, so that I had this huge list of items that I then needed to organize and itemize and actually create like a working flow schedule from. Okay, so then I made master lists. I went on Google Docs and I took all of those items that I wrote down and I split them up into, I basically organized them. So, what I'm doing is not going to be what you're doing. So, I decided for work that there was going to be a day for YouTube where I was going to shoot my videos, I'm going to answer comments, I'm going to create the thumbnails, everything, all the back end stuff that you have to do for YouTube videos that takes a lot of time, which watching this, you're probably like, oh, they're probably easy to slap up there. They're not. They take a lot of time. So I do all of that, or at least attempt to, on one day. And then I have a day where I do all of my Instagram stuff. And then I have a day where I do all of the stuff for our Facebook groups, for our oily, like Young Living community. And I have a day where I do just all back end stuff, where I'm running reports for my Young Living business, and I'm, sending out messages, or I'm, doing maybe more YouTube back end stuff, or just like ad marketing stuff that I need to do. Like everything has a day, which makes such a difference, whether you work, or this can apply to household too. Lumping tasks together, this is called batching. Not only is it more like, it's easier on your brain because you're not bouncing from task to task to task to task all day long. That kills your brain, or at least it kills mine. But you're also just more efficient because you're concentrating on one thing, and you're able to knock out tasks much faster when you are putting your brain power towards one thing. So for example, for household, it could be, you have a kitchen day, and on your kitchen day is where you make the yogurt in the morning, and then you switch to make bone broth at night in your Instant Pot, and then you're baking your bread, and you're, maybe you're cooking up a bunch of ground beef to freeze and then put in your freezer. Like you're doing all that like work prep stuff. So instead of doing one of those things every day, which you could, you just knock it all out in one day. That actually doesn't work for me because I do work. So I'm not able to do that. If I didn't work, I would totally do that. But so this, it's whatever you need it to be. You need to create a system, and you need to create a schedule and a flow that you can follow on a week-to-week basis that actually makes sense for you. And the beautiful thing is I did these in Google Docs. So at literally any time I can go back in and I can edit it and I can reprint it if it doesn't seem to be working for us. So I was able to make a schedule that I like, because the same things I'm responsible for every week. It doesn't really change. So I was able to create a list for that. So every week I can just go in and look at my master list and see, like, it's Monday, here's all the things I need to do. It's Tuesday, here's all the things I need to do. And I'm not forgetting things anymore. I'm not dropping the ball on things anymore, for the most part. You know, I'm still a human. But anyway, so that was the next thing that I did. So now I'm gonna show you what's actually in this life binder, because I have my master lists, which are the most important things to me, but I also have some other things as well. Okay, you guys, here is my mom binder that you guys have all been wanting to see. So I'm gonna give you a full tour here. So on the front here, I just have this prayer card that I actually found on Etsy a long time ago, but it's a prayer by Saint Mother Teresa. It's a really beautiful prayer, and I wanted this smack here on the front to remind me and to pray every morning when I look at this, because everything that I do, whether it's housework or it's work, it is to serve my family. So this prayer just helps me kind of get my mind right and to be in that mindset when I open this up each morning and start to see what is, going to be required of me that day. So I do have over here, this is just like random notes. So these are some video ideas, like random Costco. I just jot down like something we need to pick up next. I have, other notes about videos. And then this is actually like a prayer that I it's just one that I jotted down recently, and it's been very helpful to me. It's just things that I needed to pray about, so maybe this will help you too. But anyway, so I just have this little folder here where I jot notes down. Growing up, my mom had like notes all over the place. She would like scribble on bills and envelopes or whatever. So I'm definitely that way too, and so I like to just have a place to scribble stuff down. Okay, so here is the mom master list. Okay, you guys, so this has, my mom master list is what has both my work routines or schedules plus house stuff that I do like every single week. So as you can see, it's broken down by day. So Monday is like YouTube day. So this is everything that I try and accomplish on Monday. And then every day I have some admin things. So I'm trying to do other things that are like daily and not necessarily what's required for that specific day. And then home, Mondays we grocery shop. I'm trying to instill afternoon chore time. Still trying to get in a routine of doing that with my kids. On Mondays, I make my sourdough sandwich bread for the week. And then I also write in here, because I do a lot of sourdough stuff throughout the week, I write in when I need to feed my starter, because I make like the same breakfast or whatever every week, because this is something that I would always forget. And then I'd be so sad that I forgot it, because then I can't make that thing that I wanted to make. So I figured out what I'm gonna make each day on like a rotating basis. And then I add in, like, you need to feed your starter today, girl, because you're making English muffins tomorrow. So helpful if you are another sourdough person. So then Tuesday, it's the same thing. I've got work day, and then I've got home stuff, and a lot of it has to do with food that I want to prep or make, or requires, stuff ahead of time. Wednesday, here is my work day. And then home day. So Wednesday is when I start laundry for the week. So on Wednesday, I try and do the girls' laundry. And this is wash, dry, fold, away. And I my goal is to get it going in the morning and be like putting the laundry folded. It's folded and I'm putting it away when we go up for bedtime at night, because that's like what's realistic for me. Does it happen every time? No, but I try. Wednesdays is like a farm pickup. So if we ordered anything that week, I have it here. So when I'm looking on Wednesday morning, I don't forget. And then we've been making a lot of this for lunch. So I know that on, Wednesday night, I want to put this in the crock pot for overnight. Again, see, Thursday, it's just kind of the same thing. It goes through my work, and then, also home stuff. So more laundry, me and Bo, make yogurt, feed the starter for pizza and pancakes the next day. Sometimes I'll stick in a note here. This is from last week. If I'm going to like flip, if I'm not doing the exact same thing that day, or like, if I'm changing something, I'll just put a sticky note here. So when I'm looking, I'm like, oh, okay, Thursday, I'm actually doing this instead. Friday's the same thing. So work stuff, and then laundry, sheets and towels, feed starter, roast chicken, make bone broth. Saturday morning, I try and do like some homeschool planning, which is very light because I just have one preschooler right now. I usually try and declutter something in the house if I can. Saturday is when the girls, we don't really do screen time, but on Sundays or Saturday mornings usually, they get to watch a movie. So that is usually when I'll do like some decluttering or something, because it's like free time during the day.
and then soak rolled oats because we eat that Sunday morning before we go to church. So Sunday, plan dinners, do my family cow order for that farm pickup if we're doing it that week, take out meat for the week, and then again, feed starter for bread because I make it on Monday. So that's my mom master list. This is what I use mostly this binder for. This is like the magic right here. And then I do actually have them split out. I have a workflow, which is all of those work things I showed you, but it's just on one sheet. And then I have a weekly content planner here, which I actually haven't been using this as much, but I'll go through and I'll write down everything that I want to do for that week's content if I am really on top of it. Same thing, home workflow, it's all that same stuff that you saw before, but it's just the home sheet. But I do have on here, I have weekly breakfast. So I planned out, this is like the rotation. This is what we eat every week. This is plenty of variety as far as I go. So this works for us. So I know every day, I know what we're having for breakfast. I don't have to think about it. I also have the same for lunches here. So I basically came up with like a lunch rotation, and I can always change this and like reprint it. But I hate lunch. I hate thinking about lunch. I hate making lunch. So this way I just made all the decisions at one time. So I don't ever have to make a decision about lunch until I decide to change this. And I just have to follow it each week. So super easy. And then I do have this like weekly menu here. This is kind of the same thing. I just have it printed on a separate page, but then I do have a spot for dinners too. And I was gonna like reprint this page every week with the dinners, but it's honestly just easier for me to just stick in a sticky note. So you can see there's like sticky notes here on top instead. And that's what I have been doing for dinner. So I have all of my meals here. I know like if I need to see what I'm making, boom, I come to this page, there it is. And then I have this add to order section, which has actually been really helpful because we order from a lot of different places. So like loyalty order, that's my Young Living order that we place every month. Azure order, we order from Azure Standard. Family Cow, that's that local farm pickup that we do. And then GV Farm, this is where we get a lot of our meat from that we buy in bulk. And we're good right now on beef, so we haven't done that. But so it's basically a place for me, unless sometimes I just jot things down here. But I have this page here so that I can just go in if I'm like, oh, I have to remember to order, Inner Defense or like lemon myrtle oil or whatever on my Young Living order. I can just go quick flip to this page, jot it down, and then it's all right here because there's so many times throughout the month where I'm like, oh, I need to order that. Oh, I need to order that. And I'll just forget unless I write it down. So it's super important for me. You guys saw this in my garden planning video, but I have our like 2023 garden plan here, and I'm gonna like be able to have, room to take more notes, to fill out like dates I planted things or, dates I harvested things, just basically like notes from my garden. So I like having that here because it's super helpful to keep track of things that's going on in my garden, especially it would be nice to look back at next year. And then here is actually, I just have a couple of like other prayer cards that I got off of Etsy as well. This is one of my favorite prayers, St. Michael the Archangel. I also have the Litany of Trust here. And then I just have recently started writing down, like as I read the Bible in the morning, if there are some verses, not phrases. There's some Bible verses that I like. I've started to just have a page where I can write them down so that I can like start to memorize them. Again, trying to keep it organized, keep it all in one place instead of like scribbling stuff down. So that's everything that's in here now. And then I have a bunch of blank pages. So anything that comes up, I can just add to my binder. Anything I need to like schedule out or routine or whatever. I also have these too, which I haven't even used yet because I just don't feel like I have enough stuff where it really needs to be like color coded. But then I have this extra folder in the back here. This is where I was scribbling for like tile we're gonna do in our kitchen. And then I have a bunch of these just like weekly content planners so that I can write up a new one each week if I'm gonna use that and put it in. But that's it, you guys. There she is. That's my mom binder.
Okay, so that's my binder. That's my life binder. It's what keeps me accountable. It's what keeps me on task. I basically want to avoid, as much as humanly possible, ever waking up and thinking, what do I need to do today? Because that is not a place where I like to be professionally or as a mom. I like to know what we're gonna do. I am a planner, and that just makes me feel like I am on top of things, and it makes me feel happiest, and it's also where I get the most done. But I do want to add another disclaimer here that you saw my master list, you saw the things that I'm trying to accomplish. Maybe to you that's like not that much. Maybe to you that's like that's that's a lot of things. I have no idea where you're coming from watching this, but I do want you to know that I do not execute this perfectly every week, okay? In fact, I don't know if there's been a week yet where I've done everything, executed everything perfectly, but that is not necessarily my goal. The thing is, if, for example, if I miss a laundry day or I don't get it all put away or whatever, then I know what's coming down the pike, you know? It's like, I know it's like, well, the next day I got to do the next round of laundry, so I better get this done. And you know, if we're out of town for a couple of days, I know I just shift the whole schedule, okay? So it's not like, and you know, there's always maybe a little bit of catch up or whatever, but I know what is required of me. So instead of always having to like readjust and create a new plan and trying to make all these decisions of when I'm going to do this and when I'm going to do that, the schedule's already there. The decisions have already been made. I just have to follow it. And maybe I'm not following it perfectly, but the work is already done. I just have to execute. Also, another thing is when I get pregnant next, literally, I might as well just take this and like throw it out the window because I'm going to be sick as a dog. And I can tell you, I will probably barely be following this for like the first few months because life happens. And then I'll have a newborn. And again, life happens. So perfection is not the goal because I think it'd be easy to start this, and then if you're like not following it, be like, well, what's the point? This thing's stupid, I don't even use it. But that's not the point. Perfect execution is not the point. Having all of the thoughts and the decisions made, as many decisions as you can possibly make ahead of time, do it because it's going to save your brain, it's going to make you feel a lot happier, and you're going to be a lot more efficient because you're not going to be spending hardly any time figuring out what to do on a daily, weekly, quarterly, whatever basis. So just wanted to add in that disclaimer too. Okay, another thing that is life-changing for me and allows me to get things done, especially as a busy mom, is baby wearing. And I wanted to include it in this video because I find baby wearing to be so valuable. So when my babies are like little, I love the Solly wrap. I've used that for each one of my kids, and it's like the only way I feel like I can get through the newborn phase with some grace and with actually like being able to keep up with work and my other kids. Because once you have other kids, whether you work or not, once you have other kids as a mom, you know, when you have a newborn, you can't just like sit and watch Netflix and nurse the baby all day, which is a lovely phase of life when you just have one. But once you have more than one, that's just like not the case anymore. So being able to be hands-free, have the baby in the wrap, they're snug, they can take naps, they're happy in there, especially if they're just fussy and they really want to be held. There's certainly a time and a place for just, you know, slowing down, being in the moment and like snuggling the baby on the couch. There's time for that, but there's also time where you do actually have to be productive and you have to get things done. So love the baby wrap for that. I use the Solly when my kids are little. Once they're bigger and they just don't really fit comfortably in there, it's just like too heavy on me, then I do stop using that. But then I actually recently got another baby carrier and I am obsessed. It's the Ergo, I think it's called the Heirloom, and it's fabulous. It's a much more it's an Ergo carrier. It's much more structured. It's got buckles. It's, you know, it's meant for, it can handle, let's say, bigger babies. And Beau's only 9 months old, but he's a humongous 9-month-old. So I really wanted a more sturdy carrier, and I love this one because I can wear him on my back. And that's huge because it's hard to baby wear a big baby in the front of you when you're trying to like do things because there's a big baby right in front of you, and also it's like heavy and it kind of pulls down, and it's not as comfortable to wear them for a long time, in my opinion at least. But being able to wear him on my back is awesome. He likes being up there. He just can kind of go wherever with me if I'm doing stuff around the house. If I am outside with the girls, whatever we're doing, he can just be popped in there. And that's if he wants to be held. He doesn't always want to be held. He likes to be down, he likes to explore, he's learning how to crawl and all of that. But those times where he is more fussy and he wants to be held, but I just can't or don't want to just like sit around and hold him, then I can pop him in there and he is so happy. So I love baby wearing, can't imagine mom life without it. And those are my personal two go-to baby carriers for little babies, bigger babies. I'll link them down below. Those would be my like must-have baby wearing picks. Okay, the third thing that I have started doing recently, and it has changed my life, oh my goodness, is putting my phone away. Moms, Anybody watching this video, you are probably, my guess is you're watching this on your phone right now. My guess, which is fine. It's okay to be on your phone, right? You know, but my gosh, are they addicting? And do they steal so much time and, more importantly, so much energy? For me, okay, a few months ago, I was this close, you guys, to getting rid of my smartphone and buying like a dumb phone, like literally a flip phone. And I have seen some moms out there on, you know, Instagram or YouTube who are also, you know, work online that have done this, and I've been very inspired by them. But the bottom line is it's much more convenient for me to have a smartphone to do my job. So I have not gotten rid of it. That doesn't mean I won't get rid of it. Who knows? But I have basically tried to adopt the mindset that my smartphone is a dumb phone unless I'm using it for work. So unless I'm posting to Instagram or maybe answering YouTube comments or whatever, unless I'm using, actually no, I answer YouTube comments on my computer. Basically, I use my computer for everything I possibly can, and then I use my smartphone for the work, literally the only work tasks that must be done from a smartphone. So like going on Instagram stories or like editing a reel or something like that. So otherwise, I try not to use my phone. I literally put it in a drawer in our kitchen during the day. And what's so beautiful about it is when it's out of sight, it's literally out of mind. I forget about my phone, okay? And it's so freeing. It's like really, truly so nice. And I don't think you have to necessarily get rid of it. I obviously I haven't gotten rid of mine. But even when your phone is out, like on a counter, if you start paying attention to how many times your eyes move to the phone, and every time your eyes look at the phone, your brain starts going, I wonder if I have a text. Should I check that Instagram reel I just put up, see if there's more comments? Should I respond to them? Should I check my email? Like, should I, or if it's right there and like something pops in your head and you're like, oh, I can quick Safari, boop, and you start looking something up. But when you pick up your phone, there's a text message. And when you pick up your phone, there's a calendar, you know, thing that pops up, and all of a sudden you're distracted and you're doing other things. So yes, you meant to just like quick Google one answer to a question, but now you're texting someone for like 15 minutes. Now you're sending voice messages and like, oh my God, what just happened? So that's why I really dislike my phone, because it's very distracting, whether I'm physically on it or not. So I basically have started to treat my phone like it's a dumb phone. I put it in the drawer. I try and keep it out of sight, out of mind as much as possible. I'm like actually considering getting a landline phone so that like I can legit like not use my phone. And if like you really need to get a hold of me, you call the house phone. We don't have one of those, you know. Does anybody have one of those anymore? But anyway, so putting my phone away, not only am I more efficient because I'm not picking up my phone 7,000 times out of literal habit, like muscle memory. We've all been there where like by muscle memory, we open like Instagram or Pinterest or whatever it is. And we didn't even mean to pick up our phone, and we didn't even mean to open Instagram, but now we're scrolling and 10 minutes have gone by and it's like literally what just happened. Like it's like as if something else is taking over your body. It's actually a little bit concerning. It's incredibly addicting, and I don't want to be on my phone all the time. I don't want to be scrolling. It doesn't make me feel good. My brain feels so unbelievably scattered. Even if I scroll for like 2 minutes, my brain is like bing, 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 because there's so much coming at you. There is sound, there is visuals, there is text, there is messages, there is humor, there is scary things. I mean, it's literally like pop, 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 going off right in front of your face every time you do that. So I have found I am happier. I have actual more brain space to get done the things that are important to me. And I have so much more time to put towards the things I want to do. I'm so much more present with my family and my kids, and it's just super important to me. One of the things that I read in this book was going on what's called a low information diet. And that was very life-changing for me, because even like the positive things I was using my phone for that don't make me feel like crazy, like listening to podcasts. I love listening to podcasts. Every free moment I had, if the kids were busy and I had like, you know, maybe I'm cooking dinner or I'm doing my makeup early in the morning while everyone's asleep, I would listen to a podcast. And I love listening to podcasts. I've learned so much from podcasts. I find I get so much value out of them. They're actually one of my favorite like mediums. But it's a lot of information coming in. And basically any moment I had for silence, I filled with a podcast. And I was bringing in so much information all of the time. And truly, there is like very little that actually applies to your real life in this moment. There is so much that you can cut out. Maybe like you stop watching the news or listening to news. I am one of those people. And maybe you think I'm putting my head in the sand, and maybe you think that's a bad idea. But truly, if there's something important enough, I'll find out about it, okay? I don't need to daily check what's going on to be informed. Most of that stuff really at the end of the day doesn't actually apply to my life here in this house with my family and my work. So low information diet, I learned that from this book. Very life-changing, and for me that mostly means putting my phone away. Okay, and then the last thing I want to leave you guys, it's more of a mindset, but I was listening to a podcast recently because I do still listen to them, but it's occasional now versus like ingrained, habitual or ingrained into my routine. But I was listening to a podcast, and this woman, long story short, was talking about lessons she learned from her, I think like 98-year-old mother, who is still alive and kicking and like killing it, by the way. Kind of want to be here when I'm older. But anyway, so she was basically saying that our generation tends to dwell a lot more on how we feel. We tend to be a little bit more, I don't think self-centered is the right word, but we just tend to be a lot more in touch with how we're feeling and our emotions, which I don't think is certainly is not a bad thing, because there is room for processing emotions and not stuffing them down, because that never works, right? But lamenting on these things and thinking on these things and these feelings all the time isn't, in my opinion, in my life, this is me I'm talking about, I'm not necessarily talking about your life, you may have a different situation, but for me, it is not helpful to just continue to like marinate on my feelings, because so basically what she said in this podcast was she was talking to her mom, and she was just talking about all the things that she was struggling with, and she was just kind of going around and around, and her mom just finally said, you just gotta, like, this is not what we do. We just do whatever needs to be done next, and we just don't complain about it. Like, to her, it was so simple. It's a totally different generation. They come from a very different mindset. But to me, that was very helpful, because I can often get like overwhelmed by the responsibilities that I have, or the work I have to do that's difficult or challenging and I just don't want to do. It has helped me to be in this mindset of just like, I am serving my family. Maybe I don't want to fold the laundry, but like, instead of being like, oh, I don't want to fold the laundry, like, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? It's going to get back to, just do it. Just do the next thing and don't complain about it. Just do it. There's a lot of things when it comes to a mom. There's a lot of things when it comes to running a business that are boring, that are menial, that are not exciting, they're not sexy. They're just things that you just have to do for the sake of getting it done, because it's how you run your house, or it's how you run your business. It's how you help serve your family. So they're just things that you have to do. So instead of just constantly being like, mom, life is hard and blah, 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 like, just do the next thing and don't complain about it. Okay, you guys, so those are the things that have absolutely changed my life recently. I know so many of you guys wanted like a peek into my mom binder. You wanted to know the changes that I've made, because I've been kind of talking about, how I've made some changes and have really gotten my life together. Not that it wasn't together before, but I've just really felt called to and really seen a need for greater organization, more intentionality, and just being more efficient, so that I have more time and, more importantly, more brain space to spend on the things that I really want to be doing. So many of you said, you've been putting up so much content on YouTube, like, it's so great. And thank you, because I have been working really hard and I so appreciate that. But that is literally because I have a schedule now. I have a routine now, and I should have done this a very long time ago, and I can't tell you how freeing it is. So many people say, like, people dislike schedules, but really there is so much freedom in scheduling, because you're no longer always trying to figure out when you're gonna do what and when. It really does free up so much brain space, and it frees up a lot of time. You can increase your efficiency, and you can increase your efficiency so that you have time and brain space to do the things that you want to do. Get the things done that are required of you, like the laundry and the work and whatever else that you don't necessarily want to be doing, but you have to do. Get it done as efficiently and as joyfully as possible, so that you can free up even more time and even more, again, mental energy to do the things that you really want to do. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you're walking away feeling inspired and maybe motivated to do this for yourself and your own life. If you do, I would love to hear like in the comments how it's helping you. This is just something that has affected me so profoundly, and I know so many of you watching this are in the exact same boat I am. So I hope that this can help you as much as it's helped me. If you guys have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would absolutely love for you to do that so you can join my little community here on YouTube. Comment down below, let me know what kind of videos you want to see next. I love getting feedback from you guys. But that is all I have for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.